Good morning, everybody, and welcome back to our continuing coverage of the UFS Singles World Championship. Hein, it's good to see you again.
Always good to see you again, Sean.
Get some sleep last night?
Absolutely.
All right, let's talk a little bit about what happened yesterday before we get into the first match. So we had our top 16. We had a 125-person tournament.
What a great turnout.
Huge turnout.
Yeah,
Biggest under Jasco
absolutely.
Games.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
There was some diversity yesterday. 3 Zoeys were diversified
That
and
is
a
true.
Turbo Man.
Yeah, I believe it was Keenan Meadows, Thomas Gordon, Martin McMahon, and William Bryan was the sole Turbo Man.
Wow.
Yeah.
I think that's a good sign that, Zoe's extremely powerful.
Oh, she is extremely powerful. One thing to note, though, is that we did get to see the Keenan Meadows versus William Bryan match, and we got to see firsthand just how strong, fast, and accessible, just easily Zoey could just turn one you.
Well, especially with that gravity hold. I think that is one of the main cards for this weekend.
Yeah, and I would totally agree. I think that it's one of the most highly represented cards in the top cuts as well. It's in the Bomb Man deck.
Yep.
It's in obviously the Zoey decks. It is, just an outlier in general. It has amazing stats. And
too low for 4 with flash, noise progressive difficulty.
And it has a breaker with a +2 mid block.
Yeah, that's incredible. Yeah. Now, the other card I think is story for this weekend is Devos.
Oh, for sure.
And we're going to see that in our featured match coming up here. But let's talk a little bit about what happened last night in the first round of elimination. There were a couple upsets. All right, so first seed Rodney defeated 16th seed Tamarin.
Right.
Not too surprising there. The other match, though, was a real upset, and that was the one on stream here. 15th seed Jeremy defeated
Johnson,
Kevin Broberg.
Absolutely. And for those who don't know, Jeremy had probably the most clutch block in, I think, recent top history.
Has to check a 6. And then has to check a 5 to kill Broberg on his next turn.
Exactly. And you could do the odds all day, but he had 3 6s in his deck. Hadn't checked them. Checks it, taps his character, showdowns.
The next match was also an upset. 14th seed Garett Brett defeated 3rd seed Christopher Goldsmith.
Exactly. And one thing to note, though, but Garett is definitely not a slouch.
He is the reigning world champion.
Exactly. But that is a difficult matchup, I would say, for his particular deck, because he is a deck reliant on reversals against a character like Base.
Who all his moves are
just
safe.
Exactly.
Which can't reversal those.
Exactly. So, I mean, props to him going into a hard matchup and winning it.
Clint Badger, 4th seed, defeated Heliodoro Ramirez at 13th seed. Matthew Turner as Dimitri. He defeated Ben Shoemaker at 12th seed in the Atlanta match.
Exactly.
Iari, the 4th seed, defeated Mason Johnson, 11th seed. And then we had an upset, Chris Pratt.
Yeah. Chris
playing
Pratt.
the Tolly.
what a representative of Vegas as well.
Yeah.
Coming in and showing the world, hey, we're here to play.
We're here to play.
Yeah.
Chris Pratt defeating Isaiah, and then Tim Keefe playing Pharaohman defeating Christian Moore.
Yeah, exactly. And what's interesting to note is that Tim Keefe is one of those personalities who comes into a tournament. You don't really hear from him a lot during the months leading up to a tournament. But he shows up.
He always shows up.
And plays a deck better than whoever was playing it before him.
Well, here's the theme, I think, for this weekend, before we talk about our matches coming up this morning, is I've noticed, a lot of the UFS dynasties, Atlanta, Michigan, Rochester, we're a little dynasty.
Okay, yeah, I mean, of course.
We did not perform as well as we had in previous years.
And, I think that is a sign of a change, I guess you could call it. Well, the winds of change.
Well, what is happening, I think, is Vegas, Arizona, the people who are in these top cuts, they play UFS 7 days a week.
Constantly. And it goes to show you that practice does make perfect.
Exactly.
Because if I can say so myself, Rodney and Clint Badger are both, they won their team's championship in nationals. And it goes to show you that they came a long way since then as well. Yeah. Both of them. Near flawless records.
Yeah, very, very good play yesterday. Let's talk about our top 8 matches. We've got Rodney Garland as Bomb Man. He's going to be playing Jeremy as Mega Man 2, and we do have an update on that. They are tied at 1-1 right now.
Oh, wow.
Clint Badger is going to be playing Garett on the featured match stream here in just a moment. Iari Melkor is playing Chris Pratt. And then Matt Turner is playing Tim Keefe. That is going to be a tough matchup for Dimitri.
It is. It really is. Because for those who don't know, Dimitri does have to check for a 5 off of his enhance ability to actually get his effect online. And Pharaohman does say during attacks, your opponent has to check a -1.
I'm so very sorry. I have to cut you off there.
Oh.
I just became aware that Rodney was upset
Oh, by Jeremy Johnson.
by Jeremy Johnson.
Wow.
That is a huge upset.
Oh my goodness.
Going into so Jeremy Johnson has knocked out both the
first and
second
seeds. That's
biggest threat in this top 4.
right.
Garett Brett could be winning another world game. Past Clint Badger,
Yes.
and this deck has been running hot.
Oh yes. There's literally steam flying off the cards. Now, what's interesting to note is they've already started. The board state at the moment is a Soba Freak, a Push to Limit, and Traveling Performer on Garett's side of the board, the Slash Man. And it looks like there hasn't been any damage dealt at the moment. Clint Badger starting off with a Hair Trigger on his turn. And it would appear that Slash Man, Garett has used the Slash Man ability to seal one of those caught red-handeds. Now, looks like they're passing enhances. Garett does, in fact, use Dodge to opt to not touch.
That puts Clint 2 foundations.
Yeah, he does. Now, it doesn't deal any damage here, so the effect on Hair Trigger does not work. Garett
Brett had to pay his cost for a dodge.
All right. Oh, so it does appear that Garett did take damage leading up to this. So now he's at 14. So, of course, Garett opting to read Zoey. Clint Badger using Zoey's form ability early to play the Hair Trigger back to his hand, or to build with it, rather. There goes Caught Red-Handed, a second chance. Opting to build 2 second chances. I guess he's really looking to get that long game in.
Well, you know, there's no point keeping a second chance in your hand.
No
it's
block.
a 1/5 with no
right,
block.
Exactly. But he does build 4.
Well, I would not suspect Garett to be getting terribly aggressive.
Right, and of course, you could visually, if you would, we know this, but Garett's deck count is at 77 plus 1 for his character. He from your discard pile to your card pool. And then it also has another ability that says you destroy this foundation. Your attack is +2 damage, only playable while committed.
Well, what air and order attacks is Garett running?
That's the thing.
He's running up smash, he and Shippu,
and
Kyaku,
his the reversal.
And he and Shippu Kyaku.
Exactly. So
he's got 6.
Yeah, 6 total targets, and that's not necessarily a bad thing.
Well, it does set him up for an up smash.
It does. It is a free combo basically, if he only has 1 attack.
And he's gonna, and like we said, Slash Man can get momentum on demand.
And the good thing about that, especially against the Zoey matchup in particular, is he can remember which face downs are attacks. and choose to blow them up.
Right, because it's not legal in UFS to play the shell game with your
Exactly.
with your face down foundations.
Right, exactly.
Like, looks like Clint Badger picked up some attacks. I see a cowboy battery, a hair trick, and he's going to lead with that cowboy battery. Oh, that's a rough start, though.
Checks the gravity hold.
Checks the gravity hold.
Yep.
He's going to have to commit 2 foundations for that. Garett has a lot of foundations right now. He's going to be in a good position for
and
blocking.
3 cards in hand, if I'm not mistaken.
Now, he does get +1 progressive for the turn. But, I mean, when you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 foundations,
and
plus
2
your
of them
character,
are traveling performers as well.
which gives your check +2 to play a block.
Yeah. And what's interesting to note is that Garett, you know, he never shows, he never has a tell, I guess you could say.
He doesn't blink.
No, not at all.
That's the saying.
He just stares. So, all right, we're going to see that he's going to give his cowboy battery +2 speed. Now, Garett will opt to use the traveling form. Basically negates the speed bump to an extent. Oh, he chooses to block with a toy touch.
I think that's fine. I bet you Garett does have a reversal.
Ooh, checks the up smash.
He's only got to commit 2, though.
Yeah, that's not bad. That's a very good situation to be in. Now, does Garett have a reversal, though? Do you
I think they're proceeding on to the second.
Oh, they're just going past it.
Yeah, so Garett is going to get his free momentum. So
that puts him in prime position for
an up smash.
Next turn, yeah.
Let's see. I see a Templar in Garrett's hand right now, which I'm certain he'll block with.
Oh,
right here.
yes, absolutely.
He's checking out Zoey, though, because I think what he wants to know, with Cowboy Battery in particular, you can put your face down attack into your stage
and then just play it
up
again.
the Cowboy Battery.
Yeah. But the thing is, do you
Okay,
think...
so Garett has a Navos and a Templar in his hand. Garrett's in an incredibly good place right now.
That's incredible. And the thing is, if he can... do you think that he would wait for him to pick up his Cowboy Battery and go again? Or do you think he would just do it again right now?
I think you do it right now because you got 2 progressive difficulty.
Yeah.
This is a bad spot for Clint to be in.
Exactly. And he has plenty... Now, he has a prototype with a momentum.
He can, yeah.
Oh, my
and the
goodness.
chances of Badger being able to block that Navos right now are very slim.
So if he checks a 5 on the top here for the Templar, taps 1 and then reversals, he could take a chunk.
A huge chunk out of Zoey.
Yeah. And if it hits, which most likely will, because if I'm not mistaken, Clint Badger has no enhances he can play for the rest of this turn.
I think Garett is actually going to block with his Navos.
So he just does not want to take the damage. Fair enough.
Oh, and he checks a Navos there. So he's going to have to commit at least 1 foundation.
Yeah. Well,
now, Garett only has a Templar left in his hand. So, depending on how Badger checks, he may be able to get some free damage here.
That's true. That's true.
But he's got to be careful, though, because once Garrett's in desperation, his Navoses are on 3 difficulty instead of 5.
Now, this is the crazy part. Oh, is that a Delta kick?
That is a Delta kick.
Wow.
So what this card lets you do is, as a cost, you can add a face-down foundation to your hand.
Exactly.
Which is going to be one of those attacks that he played earlier.
I believe he picked up Hair Trigger just now.
Hair Trigger is really good.
Wow.
It's a 2 high for 2, but if it deals damage, your next attack, ranged attack, gets +4 damage.
One thing to note is that Delta Kick is also base 4 speed, which is relatively high, especially when you have 3 cards progressive difficulty in your card pool. Yeah. So if Garett were to block with that Templar, it would be at an 8 difficulty.
But he's not.
But he won't.
He's down to 13.
14.
I'm sorry, 14. My mistake.
Yeah. Does have to take the damage here.
Now what is Badger? He is going to play that Hair Trigger. And he passed. He checked a 5.
Oh, man. Yeah, he does check the short fuse there. Now,
Garett, because he only has that Templar in his hand, he is going to take some damage.
He is. Now, Clint Badger also has 4 foundations ready. Oh, wow. Checks the 5 on the battery. Wow. And that's a 10 damage Cowboy Battery coming at Garett right now.
And he's got 4 progressive difficulty.
Yeah, that's it. That's the game,
so
I think.
3, 4, 5, 6. He has to check an 8. He has to roll a 5
He
here.
does, yeah.
Which I think...
He needs to do it, yeah. This is the only way for him to live. 5.
But Garett only runs 14 attacks. He's going to check a 5 here. Oh,
yeah.
that's
4.
a 4. Oh, my gosh.
Goodness. Wow.
That was very unexpected. I thought Clint Badger was in an unwinnable situation there.
This is almost akin to the Kevin Broberg situation from last night.
I mean, the chances of Garett Brett checking a 4, looking at his deck list, are not great.
There's
Bridging Races
4 High Seas Adventures, actually.
So there's
actually a lot of 4s.
High Seas Adventure. almost all of these are 5s.
Yeah. Oh,
So-
well, bridging the races as well.
Bridging the races is a 5.
Is a 4, actually.
Really?
Yeah. It's
Still,
a 1-4.
The chances are quite low.
Oh, yeah, and then sacrifice. Or, I'm sorry, Black Justice, my mistake.
So we're going to sideboards here.
Yeah.
And you notice there's a little bit of a tell here. Garett took his character card out of his sleeve,
Mm-hmm.
which would lead me to believe he's either trying to trick Badger into thinking he's switching to Felicia
Right.
and perhaps get Badger to make a bad decision,
Now,
or he's going to switch to Felicia. So it's really
and
hard
Clint's
to tell.
laughing about it. He knows. He was basically like, oh, well, I guess here it comes.
Now, I know one of the things I do, even if I'm only running one character, after every single game, I'll shuffle my character into my deck
Right.
just to see if I can get my opponent to make a bad sideboarding decision.
Now, that's actually very smart. The other thing to note is if you only sideboard unsleeved cards, that's also a mind game. Especially if you keep your character in the same sleeve as your deck. You can
Which I always do.
Exactly. I think that's probably the best way to approach doing that. Now, the other thing to note here is that Garett, if he is going to Felicia, has to take the 1 copy of Stop out of his deck now.
That is true, because Stop does not match any symbols with
does
Felicia.
not, yeah.
And Stop is incredibly powerful against Zoey.
I don't know if he'll switch though. The thing is, the odd chance that 1 out of 77 cards is Stop though, it's
Yeah, he doesn't have
kind
any
of
way to
iffy.
fetch it.
Yeah, he doesn't have a way to just get it.
Now, looking at Clint Badger's side deck here, I imagine that he is going to bring in his High Seas Adventure.
You're right.
That's incredibly good against Devos.
For sure.
He'll bring in his Caught Red-Handed. It's very good against Dodge. And he's got to make a decision. If he is switching to Felicia. If I was expecting Garett to switch to Felicia, I would bring in Stop.
Now, this is very arrogant, I would say, of Garett to show that he's making the switch to Felicia. It's showing that he's ready to go no matter what here.
Like, Garett did run Slashman over the course of the weekend, and Slashman is a pretty good character in his own right. But by running Slashman and switching into Felicia, he actually puts himself in a position where he doesn't have to worry so much about diversity.
That is true. It is a good way to dodge the draft, as I guess you could say.
Indeed. But yeah, if I was Badger, I'd be bringing in Stop, Caught Red-Handed, and High Seas Adventure. As far as what to take out, that's a whole other thing.
Let's take a look.
His actions obviously are incredible against Garett.
They are
because of
way
reversal.
too strong because of the reversal keyword.
I would probably pull Humanity Sentry out. I would probably take out Heart of the Mountain. I just completely undervalue that card.
Especially,
Actually, I'm sorry, I made a mistake. I would take out Journey West.
I was going to say Journey West seems like the one because Garett does not. The only low he runs is Toy Touch. Is that correct?
I believe so.
Yeah. So it loses a lot of value, but Clint Badger does not know how many Toy Touches Garett runs.
That's true.
So the mind game has been established.
The other reason why I think I would take out Journey West is Garett is only playing a very low number of attacks.
Exactly.
So by the time he goes to attack you, he may have built a very large staging area.
Absolutely.
And that +2 difficulty may not even matter.
It's true. And the thing to note is that, again, the low block, you can just take it out of your deck right now, and it won't even matter. The difficulty curve we talked about. Against Felicia, it's kind of not really that relevant. It sets her back a little bit, but not enough unless you have pairs.
Right. Short fuse, I think Badger's definitely got to leave in his deck.
For sure. He needs a high block as well.
He needs a high block, plus most of Badger's attacks are off zone.
Right.
And a Templar
is going to get shut down.
You get partial blocked, and you can seal it. Let's do it.
Yeah,
let's take a closer look at Journey West. We talked about why we would want to take this out. So Journey West is it's a 2/5 foundation with a 3 low block. It says E flip. If this attack is not blocked, your opponent's next attack gets +2 difficulty.
And the strengths of this card are obviously there. E flip. There's no commitment cost. It's just flip it face down. You basically can still use the foundation for past your checks. 2/5 standard, good foundation. And it's got a +3 low block. Now, a lot of foundations in that simple spread in particular don't have very good low blocks.
No, that's great stats right there. Now the E flip, its ability I think is much better in an aggro matchup.
I think so too, because there's not going to be as many foundations in play early. It's going to make it so that you have to pass additional cards.
Yeah.
It's going to be very rough.
Or you could otherwise take a deck who was planning to attack more that turn and force them to play foundations instead.
And the crazy thing too is that you could like again against Felicia, it doesn't matter as much, but against Slashman, he could also have just sealed it Yeah. So taking it out of the deck here probably makes a lot more sense in the long run, whether or not he is playing Felicia or Slashman. Now, if we want to bring up Felicia, though, that is the character that he's sideboarding into, which I don't think we've caught on stream yet.
No, we've not seen her on stream yet.
You're going to be... And remind me, how powerful is Felicia, Sean?
She's incredibly powerful. Felicia 1 she is very powerful. She gets momentum for free. So one of her enhances says...
Oh, got an older Felicia.
I think we got an old model Felicia here. So the Felicia that Garett Brett is switching into, so he has a free enhance that if that this attack goes to your momentum during the end phase period, regardless as to whether or not it hits.
That is also a different Felicia.
they've printed so many Felicias, and then if the attack deals damage on top of that, your next check gets +3.
So many Felicias. I guess we're getting a slideshow of every Felicia ever made.
All right, let's get back to the game here.
Okay.
So Felicia's other ability says if you have 2 momentum or more, your attack gets +3 speed. So your attack's going to be
your punch, kick, or slam attack gets +3 speed.
Well, you wouldn't run any other attacks.
Right. But of course, you have to mention it. But the other thing to note is that the other line of text on that card says if your attack hits, doesn't matter what kind of attack, your next check gets the boost.
Yep, so you can use it on blocking as well.
Exactly.
Ooh, that is... Oh, no, wait, Clint Badger is ready. He did go second.
Yeah.
Garett had a really good build. He played Ophidiophobia. If we could bring that up in the card spotlight. So Ophidiophobia is a foundation. It's a 2/5, and it says E flip. If this attack is blocked, it deals no damage.
Period. Does not matter. It has to just...
Doesn't matter if it's a partial block or it gets the throw.
And one thing to note, it is also another card that has a +3 low block. So in the list that we saw earlier, we saw Journey West. It's almost as if the defensive pieces in air and water, they overlap a little bit as well. So you're going to see a little bit of, both decks getting that. Because remember, Garett does have 3 copies of Journey West in his deck as well. That will do wonders.
Garett is going in early here, though.
Wow, he's attacking.
We do have Ophidiophobia up now. Like I said, if you're playing UFS and you're getting, annoyed with throws, if you're on those symbols, you should play an Ophidiophobia.
Now, this is uncharacteristic of Garett, though.
Not necessarily, because Felicia really is in a good mode if she has 2 momentum.
Right.
Now, Garett did just use bridging the races. That's going to give his attack +1 speed, +1 damage.
Right. Now, one thing to note, though, the inherent strength of Felicia is that no matter what, she will always get the momentum.
And here comes a Toy Touch.
So Clint Badger did take the damage because it's 21. Toy Touch comes in. He adds a card back to his hand, which is the Dragon of Kyokugen Ryu, I believe.
Yep.
And then he responds with Bridging the Races to re-ready when a card leaves the staging area.
He gets to ready it once per turn, which makes Bridging the Races really good for Felicia.
Exactly.
Because a lot of her stuff manipulates the cards that are in her staging area. And it looks like Clint Badger is going to be taking some damage.
Yeah, he
down
is.
to 19.
Down to 19, yeah.
This is very uncharacteristic of Garett. Garett attacking so early. He's going to get 2 momentum. He's got damage on the board.
Oh, but he does get a High Seas Adventure in play early.
2 High Seas
of them.
Adventures.
Oh my goodness.
So this match is going to go, I think, pretty long. Because Badger's not going to be able to play those multiple enhances on Cowboy Battery.
Yeah, it's true.
So High Seas Adventures, a 3/4. It's no block, but it says armor move after attack is played, it gets flash. So that is both great offensively and defensively.
Right, exactly.
Because offensively, if your opponent has something that's going to reduce speed or, maybe put them in a spot where they can play an easy block and get a reversal, then, you can kind of sneak in there. And then on defense, it makes, especially against like a Nevos or a Cowboy Battery, they won't be able to get that free damage in.
Yeah. One thing to note is that, again, you highlighted on that. He's going to have the momentum, and he's going to have the High Seas Adventure in play. So whatever happens here, Clint Badger has to take a risk on whether or not he's going to attack early or if he's going to hold some of the high blocks on his attacks.
See, Clint Badger is going to be in a bad spot if he attacks early.
Exactly.
Because Garett has a Nevos in his hand right now. And with only 4 foundations, Garrett's got a whole bunch more.
And the thing to note is that Nevos is such a good block in this matchup, as we saw earlier.
Garett's Badger's playing a lot of highs, and Navos does have a +1 high block.
And if we look at the attack base, he has an abundance of off zones as well. He has a
He does have Toy Touch at low, Gravity Hold at low.
Focus Charge at mid, Kachosin at mid, and of course the rest of them are highs. It's a high sweep.
There's that Navos.
And he's itching for it. You can tell.
Well, yeah, he wants to play that as soon as he can. Now there's a Flying Yamato Spear. That's a 6 high for 6.
This is the turning point of the match.
It's not though. Something very bad happened. If you look at Badger's discard pile, he checked a Focus Charge. He's got to commit 3 foundations here.
But okay, one thing to highlight here, and Garett
gave a wow, there's an out of your league right there. So Garett responded to give a flash, used out of your league. That cost 3 vitality. Now Garrett's got a decision here. Is he going to flash it again?
I think he's going to do it again.
He's going to do it again.
He's going to. Oh man.
Yeah, that did cost Garett 2 foundations.
But the thing is, the thing you got to note, Garett can't reversal.
Unless he's got another Navos in his hand.
No, he can't. That card is safe.
You are correct.
So this is what I was referring to when I said the turning point. He can pick that up again.
That's right.
He can play a Toy Touch or another low diff.
Yeah, if Badger has a Toy Touch or Gravity Hold in his hand, he plays that here on the 3.
Garett actually might lose on this turn if possible, because if I'm correct, he has a hair trigger in his hand. I can't really tell at the moment, but if he goes hair trigger and Garett takes it with 1 card in hand, is that correct?
Yeah, well, some things still have to go right for
It's true.
Badger
He does
here.
have to check well.
He has to check well because he's got to check a 3 here, which he could check a 2.
But if he checks the 3 and he forms Zoey to bring it down, he picks up the spear multiples.
But this is all assuming.
This is all assuming he can check the 5s.
Well, this is all assuming he's also got 2 diff attack in his hand, which I haven't seen his hand in a minute.
It's true. I haven't seen it either. He's kind of.
Church is in the tank right now. He's trying to decide, does he have a path to victory?
And I think he's starting to slowly realize it, because in this situation that he's in, Garett is stone-faced, not giving anything up.
He never does.
Never.
Garett doesn't blink.
He just sits there and he stares you down, whether or not you think you have it or doesn't.
You don't know if you're winning or not against Garett. That's the frightening thing.
That's the problem. You never know. Even if you could be 30 life up on him, and he could still be winning.
Yeah, I'd really like to see what's in Clint Badger's hand right now.
Oh, yeah, I would too. But
we're not going to distract him because he's got to make some tough decisions.
He's in the think tank, like you said.
If he's got a Toy Touch or a Gravity Hold right now, I think he can win it.
I think so too. Yeah, I mean, you got to think.
Or at least you go for it here. You're up a
game.
Yeah,
you have to. Yeah, you're up a game. Why not go for it? Now, the issue is, if he decides to do this, this is putting all your eggs in one basket.
You're committed.
You're committed to it. You don't worry about it. I think if he checks his discard pile to see what he has in there, he's going to see at least 2 attacks, right?
And I feel like I can tell on Garett's face, he usually is pretty stone-faced, but Garett being the experienced player he is, he knows if Clint Badger has that 2 difficulty move, it's done.
It is done. That's true.
Because he plays a 2 difficulty.
Forms with Zoey to bring it down.
Forms with Zoey, so he's got 3 foundations
regardless of if he checks.
There's the Toy Touch. Oh no! He checked a 2 there.
Wow. Oh, the opts to fail.
He's going to fail that?
What?
I would have committed a foundation.
I would have. The thing is, I would have kept that. Oh my goodness.
I may have still stayed on that line of play.
I would have done it.
Because he would have had a committed foundation, but he would have had 2 up, and he had to play a Flying Yamato Spear on a 6 as long as he checked a 4 or higher.
Not necessarily a 6. He had Zoey.
Well, he would have had to commit Zoey to get the foundation.
Yeah, that's true. But the thing is, you build 1.
I think that was a missed opportunity there for Clint Badger. Yeah.
Well, the thing is, if you have a Flying Spear in your hand, and let's look at his list real quick. He's playing 3 in his deck. He has 1 in hand. He just checked 1.
He checked 2.
2.
He now has no access to Flying Spear. That was a huge missed opportunity.
Absolutely, because what are the odds, even if you hit an attack there? Oh man, I do not agree.
I think Clint just punted that away. That's too bad.
He may have thrown the game away just now, and I think he misread that situation entirely. Because now, I mean, he has no answer to the reversal game whatsoever. He used an out of your league early on too.
Yeah. I mean, if he'd have passed that, he could put the Flying Spear back in his hand, which would have protected him from a reversal.
Exactly. And you know, Garett's not going. He just blocked with a Navos. What other attack would he have had other than, I guess?
There's the up smash.
Yeah,
this is bad news, Bears.
Yeah, this might actually be the game because he's going to destroy those 2 ready foundations.
Yeah, he's not going to block it.
Yeah.
And that up smash is
And Clint Badger's at 11 life right now, if I believe, because he took the 5 from the Bridging the Races pump on the Heian Shibuyaku. This is going to be unblockable.
Yeah. So as long as Garett can get this to 11 damage.
And did he tap a Dragon of Kyokugen? Is that correct? So regardless of what happens, he takes the hit and dies, right? Because of the 2 damage burn.
I thought he did that to pass control
check. Did he commit it? I didn't see. Oh, but there's the explosion. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, he did commit it because he committed Bridging the Races earlier.
Yeah, let's bring up flying Yamato Sphere.
Yamato Sphere. Okay. Now that is, yeah, I completely agree though. It was a missed opportunity.
Yeah. So it's a 6 difficulty attack.
Yeah.
And 6 high for 6. It's got a block on it.
Yeah.
Multiple 1, and it's safe.
It's a +3 low block if I'm correct. 6 high 6 5 2. Those stats you can't argue with. Multiple safe ranged. And the multiple gets safe as well. Oh my God.
Badger
has to be hitting himself right now.
But do you think he's realized that he did have a winning line there?
I don't know if he. I mean, he had to have known. Had he checked better? Let me go ahead and do this real quick. But yeah, I mean, you have to be kicking yourself. It is just a dangerous game against Garett. He could take you out in just a moment, just staring you down. And the thing to note is that he was stone-faced that entire time, and you know, Clint Badger basically had to sit there and decide, am I going to do this? Am I going to commit to this?
Well, you had to commit to that. You're only having 2 foundations with Felicia having her +3 speed there. There was no way he was going to block anything.
Exactly. And the thing is, even if he had checked an attack, and here we have a Flying Yamato Sphere on the screen here, multiple 1, range safe, 6 high 6, a 5-2 with a +3 low block.
Oh man, I thought it was a 6. So if he'd passed the toy touch, he'd have 1 foundation in the staging area. He got a 2nd foundation.
He could have done it. Yeah.
He could have won that game as long as he didn't check any more flying spheres, which was impossible.
Impossible, exactly. He had the game. And the thing to note is he also had not used, if I'm correct on this, he didn't use the enhance on toy touch either.
No.
So there was nothing he could have added.
No.
Missed opportunities.
Missed opportunities there.
Yeah.
That may cost Clint Badger the World Championship there.
Had he passed that, added the Agile to his hand, he might have actually been able to build as well. It's basically a free build.
That's too bad.
Yeah, it is very opportunity.
Hopefully.
And, you know, we're going to see that again. I mean, I believe Garett's taking a quick break.
Yeah, Garett's going to take a washroom break, so hopefully we can get some updates as to what's going on with the other matches.
Yeah, and we did say earlier, though, that the Bomb Man versus Mega Man 2 match, you know, Rodney versus Jeremy, did not go in Rodney's favor. No,
that is another huge upset at the top tables. Exactly. And I just want to, while we have a break here, I want to show folks, everybody who made top 16 is getting another deck box from Dex Protection. Now this box it's huge.
It's massive.
It's a massive box. This was provided by Dex Protection as prize support for the tournament.
Right.
And just like their other boxes, it's got that nice felt interior.
Oh yeah, and if you feel, it's very nice.
It's very nice.
And I think that that's probably where I would put all my rares in, especially with the new Street Fighter set coming out. There are a lot of quite nice cards. Very.
There's gonna be a lot of expensive cards. This thing has almost 10 magnets that's going to hold this shut. So if your cards are in here,
and if
it's not going to pop open.
And if we actually, if you're wondering how tight it is, listen to this. It's going to come up right here. That's a nice thud.
Yeah, it thuds. It closes good. I don't know what the MSRP on this, but I know it's going to be available at your brick and mortar stores if it's not already.
Right.
At DexProtection.com. Thank you guys once again for the great prizes.
Yes.
We have another prize we're going to show off here real quick.
Want to grab that in, Sean?
Yeah, we've got everybody who made top cuts in singles is going to get the UFS Worlds 27 Top Cut Finalist playmat. It's got Chun-Li on it.
And it's actually got the interesting thing to note about the art here. It actually has other characters in the background too. And you can see Vega, you can see Balrog, you can see a glimpse of Sagat over here. We have Sea Viper, Abel, El Fuerte, and I believe that's Rufus right there as well. So we have the newcomers on one side, and we have the old guard on the other. It's very nice. I love the art on this.
Yeah, remember Jesco Games makes all their playmats in-house.
Exactly, they do. So they
Very
have these
high quality.
ready to go, and it is very nice. I love this. I wouldn't be surprised if many of our own players were using this today from what they won yesterday. Yeah, but
So the run, I just got a note from our production that the one row is $35.
oh wow,
Wow, that is
that's a steal.
a fantastic deal because the two deck box was almost $30.
Right.
So you're getting a huge amount of storage space here.
Right.
And this is solid wood
Oh yeah,
construction.
it's actually quite nice
So
material.
you're not going to damage it terribly easily.
And again, the highlight of it, the magnets. It just keeps it shut. Snaps right in.
Wonderful product. Pick that up from your
Absolutely.
local stores if you haven't already. We just brought up the website for Dex Protection. This is a Supreme one-row box, $35. Holds 550 double-sleeved cards. So if you're one of those people who likes to keep their cards protected,
number too, yeah.
they're
It's the one thing to note, it does come in standard sizes as well for all living card games and collectible card games.
and like 10 extra strength magnets to keep it closed.
10.
That is a beautiful deck box.
That's an excellent deal. I think I'm going to order one when I get off here.
I just might myself because those are great. And it looks like Garett is back. We are getting ready for the start of Game 3. I wonder how this is going to go. Clint Badger, I'm going to assume, is on the play.
Yeah, I would assume so. What's interesting to note is that look at the pile shuffling methods they go with here. I believe Clint had 5 piles, and Garett's going for this little I guess plus sign. What would you call that?
Well, Garett is an accountant, so he probably knows mathematically the best way to
this is true.
randomize his deck.
The rumor mill from a long time ago, I heard that Garett actually runs his own spreadsheets for deck lists as well. So he does run the numbers. He crunches them in his spare time.
Well, he probably sits it there at home. He's up late and
Yeah.
can't sleep. He's like, man, if I change these 2 cards, my average speed will go up to 3.57 for all my attacks instead of 3.565.
I mean, hey, the inner machinations of a champion's mind.
Whatever he does is working. He is a 2-time world champion.
Exactly.
Plus his many other accolades. He goes to Britain and beats them up once a year to take all their champ cards.
And it's impressive.
So
let's see.
This is about to get started here. No one has committed their character yet. So
it's true. I
have to assume Garett that Clint Badger is going to be on the play.
I would assume so.
Oh,
card fell out.
Card fell out. Surprise.
I believe it was a slash claw. Yeah.
But it looks like there's some pretty good banter here. I mean, Clint Badger is pretty laid back. He's a pillar of the community. He likes to have a good time.
And interestingly enough, though, it might not show on his face, but Clint Badger and I have had a long-standing discussion about how Garett sort of overshadows every other Canadian player, like drastically. Obviously, he's got the curve, he's got the legacy behind his name. Now, if another Canadian player were to take it, I would want it to be Clint Badger.
Well, would Clint Badger become the new face of America?
Oh, would that be the case?
I don't know. We'll have to see. I mean, the national championship for UFS is going to be coming up here in your backyard in October in Atlanta, Georgia.
And it's going to be a very fun event. Last year's was phenomenal. I loved it. We had a great turnout. Everyone was just happy to be there. And, of course, our very own Phil Birch won that national championship.
Now, for the national championship, very similar to the world championship, there's going to be a character card on the line that you can win in your likeness. If we could bring up Ben Shoemaker in the card thing here.
We did show Ben Shoemaker last time. How about Dave Wagner?
Well, we'll show Dave Wagner.
Yeah, let's show Dave Wagner, another Atlanta champion.
Remember, if you win the standard championship for nationals or the world championship, you get your likeness made into a character card.
And I love this because look at Dave's cheesy grin. he's like, yeah, I won.
And then also up for grabs is going to be the team national championship,
which I believe the team championship that Atlanta has currently, it's the one that I can think of, is Drew Maffei Lion Buddy, which is also another card. If we could bring up Drew, That would be another card to show as well.
I don't know. I think I'd rather bring up Admiral Two-Fist.
Oh,
Von
Admiral
McChompington.
Two-Fist. That's another one too. Admiral Two-Fist.
Admiral Two-Fist Von McChompington.
Yeah.
We've actually seen that get played here on our stream.
It's true. Actually, yeah, that'd be there. It is.
So there he is, right there.
I think this art is wonderful.
This has been a great card for people this weekend. So our commit after an attack is played, +2 and -2 speed, and seal one of your opponent's
Seal an
foundations.
Ever Hopeful, seal a High Seas Adventure, give it -2.
That's really good.
That's extremely strong. And on top of that, the thing to note, it has 3 keywords on it.
Ranged, ally, and unique.
It can combo for you. You can use it with the card Rain Flush if you need to make it multiple. It has tons.
It's got a lot of
uses.
modes.
Yeah.
And remember, when you win one of these cards, you get to work with the Jasco design team to make abilities that you want to have on your card, and you get to have the art direction. Here we have Ben Shoemaker's prized stuffed alligator.
Crocodile, actually.
Oh, it's a crocodile, my mistake.
It's true. He is a crocodile. The thing to note, he is an admiral.
He has 2 boats.
He has 2 boats.
2 boats.
Yeah. And he asked us, do you guys know what their boats' names are? I said, no. What are they? He goes, they are the Santa Maria and the HMS Hercules.
HMS Hercules.
Yes, Her Majesty's Service. So he's part of the Royal Navy, I guess you could say.
And don't forget, in addition to these cards, the playmats, the deck boxes, there's also the UFS World Championship title belts.
It's true. The belts. Oh, my goodness. We showed those off yesterday.
That thing weighed like 20 pounds.
Yeah, it was nice.
It was heavy.
And you could just sling it over your shoulder, wrap it around you. It was great. I loved it. Very well made.
Looks like the action is about to get started. We still don't see a character committed.
No, I think he's going to make the decision here, because what happens is we know that Garett may or may not have brought those dancing flashes in, but of course, Church would only assume, or Clint was only assuming. Now, it's only 2.
Clint is going to go first.
Okay, well, I guess he's just going to do it. I mean, he runs a risk going second no matter what.
Yeah.
He does have 2s in his deck.
He's got to be careful.
Yeah.
I still can't help to believe that, Clint Badger had that game won and pumped it away.
Goodness.
Now he's got to work harder.
He had to have been kicking himself, but he can't show that. He can't show that to Garett.
No.
He has to show that he knows what he's doing here.
All right.
Ooh, that's a lot of attacks.
That's a lot of orange cards in his hand. What?
Do you think he's going to review this?
He's gonna mulligan if there's no 2-diffs.
Yeah.
Because he could sneak in there with a 2-diff. Actually, no, I wouldn't do it.
I wouldn't do it, especially when she's committed.
No, but if he's got that's an awful lot of attacks.
Yeah.
But there's so many good cards to get. It looks like we got a cowboy batter, a flying spear.
Yeah, there's a lot of
focus
cards.
charge.
I wouldn't want to keep that if I were Clint.
Well, let's see what he does.
Ooh, there's a flying spear in his hand too. He loses out on 2 kill conditions early.
Yeah. I mean, that would put him down onto just 2 flying spears and 3 cowboy batters.
Now, the risk is so high. I would not advise to do this. He has to send it. Yeah. I mean, we don't get a chance to see Garett's hand here because his hand is obviously covering up the camera. But at the same time, I mean, this is.
I think
we get to see the Garett wrist.
I think.
Oh, but he has 2 foundations.
He's got 2. He can't ship 2 cowboy batters.
Yeah, he can't.
Oh boy, this is a tough decision here. I do not envy Clint Badger's position.
Do you think he's going to build and hope to attack with 2 attacks next turn? And check 5s?
He could. What he could do here is he could play his 2 foundations and then play the focus charge as his last form just to see if he can get in there.
That's true, yeah, if he can get that out of the way.
Okay, looks like we have some updates from the teams tournament here. For the stuff, beat, wow, I can't quite read this.
Huh. I don't really know. Oh, for the Sturf, the team.
Versus
which is Jay Vetta, Benjamin Porter,
Badger did decide
and
to
Emerson
ship that
Lynchfield. Wow. Oh, my goodness. This is the team that I was going to mention. This is the brand new team. Jay Vetta, I believe, and Benjamin are the new players in this team. This is their first event, and they're in grand finals.
That's very exciting. And remember, if they win the finals, they do get the team championship belts plus the team assets.
Emerson actually won his first PTC, if I'm not mistaken, not that long ago, with a Fire Metal Man list, and I think he gave it to his friend Jay Vetta. Wow, this is a world to remember, and we do see that.
Clint Badger did ship that hand away.
Yeah, he did. I mean, you have to in that situation. There's no.
Yeah,
It's too risky.
If this was game 2 and I was up a game,
Yeah.
I may have considered taking a risk on that, having all those great attacks in my hand.
But there's no point, yeah. And we do see that Garett's going to have the Tiger, the Dragon of Kyoki and Ryu.
Oh, Garett just played an Ever Hopeful. Let's bring that up as
yeah,
in the featured card. Ever Hopeful is incredibly good. That is going to be a game changer in this match.
Yep, it's gonna warp everything.
I do not favor Clint Badger right now.
5 build.
So Ever Hopeful has an ability. It says, add this card to your hand. Add one of your opponent's foundations to your hand. This card's incredibly good in Felicia because she can build so many foundations. She gets free momentum. Because on block, you can add this card to your staging area.
It's true. And the only card in Clint Badger's deck that can stop it on the block is Short Fuse, if I'm not mistaken. And out of your league.
Out of your league.
Yeah.
So Badger's in a bad spot here. He's going to be hard pressed to attack. Ooh. He's going to get the free. He's going to get. He is good. Oh, Flash is really good against Ever Hopeful.
It is. Oh, man.
Does Garett have a low? He does. He has a Champion of Muay Thai in his hand.
I know.
That's going to get fully blocked.
He's going to block it, yeah.
And if Garett has a reversal in his hand right now, Clint Badger might as well pick up his cards. This is going to be a done deal. But
he doesn't touch Hosen?
I don't think that's a good move here.
That is not a good move.
Because Garett's going to bounce Clint Badger's last ready foundation to his hand.
Oh, my goodness. That is not... I mean, I guess you have to play out your hand if it looks like that, right? This is rough.
This Badger is not in a good spot.
And if he gets reversal, it might as well be.
Yeah, if he gets reversaled here with 3 cards in his card pool with 1 ready foundation,
it might as well be over at that point.
This was a very aggressive play here.
But if the Kachosin does hit, it does mean that the next one gets pumped by 3.
That's not going to hit. Garett's getting his next checked for a block +1.
It's true. I mean, you never know. I mean, it's pretty much going to pass.
He's going to play that Ever Hopeful there.
Yeah.
Unless he checks poorly, he's going to... Which he checks a 5.
Checks a 5, yeah.
So that's going to come down to a staging area.
Ironically enough, had that been a 4 or lower.
Oh, no, he can't. He doesn't have momentum right now.
Nope, doesn't.
So he's going to get on the board there, but at what cost?
At what cost? I don't agree with what Garett just did at all. No. Because now he's going to build, he's going to add the Kachosin to his hand, because the Gravity Hold's not going to count. But at the same time, Clint Badger can't play the Kachosin again without a risk.
Not without a huge risk.
I think he has maybe another sweep. I can barely tell. He has an Out of Your League in hand.
So he could stop a reversal. I'm surprised.
Oh, there's...
Oh, no! Oh, he played a Toy Touch and checked another Flying Spear.
This might be a wrap.
Wow.
He's laughing, but that's sounds like...
He's checked so many Flying Spears this match.
That's impressive.
Impressively bad.
That was impressive. Wow.
And I bet you he is...
Garett is hard-pressed to go on the offense now. There is nothing holding him back.
Well, except for the contents of his hand.
Well, of course. Which he doesn't see. Wait a minute. They hadn't made a check yet.
Let's face it. I mean, Clint Badger's hopelessly behind now.
Yeah, this is not looking
Garett
good.
can now... 2 high season adventures.
Oh, my goodness.
Garett can win this at his leisure now.
He can take
Dust
as much
in the wind,
time,
which is going to...
Stop the enhance on Zoey.
Yeah, if it's going to make his attack glacially slow. This is now Garett's match to lose.
Yeah.
Which Garett doesn't blink.
He has literally every piece of defense he would need with 3 in hand. I think he passes here, and Clint just hangs himself.
Yeah, I mean, that cost him big. But any of the foundation in his hand would have been too difficulty as well. So
it's true.
He was up a creek. He had no outs there.
And the thing to note is that he does have an Out of Your League in hand.
That can stop a reversal. But Garett has Phytophobia. He's got 2 high seas adventures. He's got Champion of Muay Thai. And we know Clint's not packing throws.
Now, we did say this before, but we still don't know if Garett's going to see any of his, I believe, 14 attacks.
That's true.
It is a high-risk scenario for Clint Badger, but regardless of what happens, I mean, Garett's in a phenomenal position right now, and I believe
it's his match to lose.
It's his match to lose, yeah. By the way, one thing to note, that is actually Hatred of Autumn.
Oh, I thought it was a Dustin.
They're very similar art. Now, I wanted to highlight this card. If we could bring up Hatred of Autumn, this does wonders against the staging area that Clint basically has produced throughout the games. It does shut off High Seas Adventure. It does shut off Heart of the Mountain. It does shut off Journey. No, it doesn't shut off Journey West. It shuts off, what was I thinking of? Short Fuse.
Yeah.
It does numbers.
The thing is, Garett has a momentum, even if he doesn't have the speed. With Badger only having 5 foundations, he can go kick, up smash, and put Badger back to the start.
Oh, wait.
He reviewed a Black Justice.
Now, the thing to note here is that is Hatred of Autumn an enhance that we just looked at? Yeah, it is an enhance. E-commit. So
let's bring up Black Justice real quick, because I don't want that to get too far away.
Yeah.
Black Justice has an ability when it's reviewed that forces your opponent to destroy a ready foundation.
It's true, and this is, man.
And there's that ever hopeful again.
Oh, is he going to bring it down? Oh, Clint Badger has Out of Your League in his hand. Wow. Garett loses the momentum.
He's going to lose his momentum. That's going to slow him down, because I bet you Garett was going to go in and attack this turn.
He was definitely going to go in.
He was going to end this game right here.
Yeah, so
that cost Badger 3 vitality, and he no longer has a silver bullet against a reversal.
It's true. Now, the thing is, though, one thing to note is that High Seas Adventure can still be used on reversals.
It can.
So he can sit there and sort of play his offense, wait for the reversal, wait for Garett to make a check. Oh, there's Slash Claw.
There's a Slash Claw.
Needs 1 to pass.
Which Garett has no lack of foundation.
Exactly.
Now, so he is going to get the free momentum. No, he's not.
Oh, he's not?
What's he going to do for his first enhance?
What? Unless, of course, there's something to do here. Church does get the response.
Perhaps Church is thinking about giving the attack Flash.
Yeah, if he does give it Flash here, I mean, Garett...
That puts him down on the 3 foundations.
It's true. The thing is, though, he's in prime position to do that right now. Because if he takes 5 overall, it's better than giving Garett the momentum to play another kick and then play the up smash, the region calcu. So denying that momentum is a decision he has to make here. He has 2 Heart of the Mountain, so he does get to reduce some speed here. But
well, keeping Felicia on 0 momentum is really important.
It is extremely important, because she can't enhance with that, and he can just block, because it's a 3-speed mid, right? So
well, no, that's a high zone attack.
Slash Claws, I believe it's a 3-speed mid, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, let's bring up Slash Claw in our card spotlight.
Yeah, if I'm not mistaken. I mean, I could be mistaken.
It looks like a little red blip. Nope.
Ah.
You know, sometimes the foiling looks a little weird under the whites.
Yeah, exactly. It does look a little darker than it normally does. But he opts to not Garett the high. Oh, man. I mean, Garett will still have to check well. But going by what he has, there's no way.
Well, remember, with Felicia's ability, if the attack deals damage, it does give his next check +3.
It's true. Now, the thing to note, though, is that Garett did have to seal his own Slash Claw for that ability. So if he has another Slash Claw, that one could potentially build him 2 momentum and make his attack near unblockable.
Yeah, if Garett has a second Slash Claw, then we might as well wrap it up.
Yeah, we might as well wrap it up, yeah.
Clint Badger's been in an uphill situation, I think, this entire match, even before he checked that too.
It's true. And on top of that, Garett's deck has an abundance of mid blocks, so he can also rezone with Muay Thai if he really needed to.
So looking at the picture right now, we know that Jeremy is advancing. And
then we're watching this match unfold right now, but we don't know what's happening between Iari and Chris. We don't know what's happening between Matt Turner and Tim.
No, it's really hard to predict what's going to happen, because in UFS we actually reseed an elimination so that the highest seed person always has the advantage.
It's true. Now, say Garett wins, right? Who would be his worst matchup?
If Garett was to win, and Garett is he's a high seed, so he's going to be 14th. He's going to actually play the winner of the other matches. He will not see Jeremy pretty much until the end of the tournament.
That's true. Yeah. Now, interestingly enough, if he fights Dimitri, Garett has played against Dimitri again at Worlds. for the grand finals.
Well, I've played many matches against Dimitri. One of our local players, Felicia versus Dimitri, our local player, Jeff Kahn,
Right.
Who is the 2-time Turbo champion.
Excellent player.
Plays a lot of Felicia, and I've been testing him against Dimitri. Dimitri isn't free to Felicia, but a lot of things have to go right.
Right.
With Dimitri's ability to flip foundations,
the Ophidiphobias come off.
Ophidiphobias come off the board, but sometimes that's not necessarily the right thing to do because
Ever-hopeful,
looking at
high
the board right now,
seas.
you've got
Yeah,
Ever-hopeful, high seas.
There's an abundance of cards to hit.
Yeah.
And on top of that, Hatred of Autumn might actually be very useful against the Dimitri board.
Yes, because a lot of his
Surveyor
is really good.
Because if you don't form on Surveyor immediately, then he can seal it for the rest of the turn.
Or you can Ever-hopeful it.
He can. So it's a tough call to make sometimes.
Well, an experienced player like Garett versus Dimitri, he would never play Ever-hopeful as a form.
He would never.
He would play that. He wouldn't play it as a form unless he had momentum.
Right. More than likely, he would always block with it.
He would block or play it and then immediately add it to his staging area because of Dimitri's form.
Exactly. Now, interestingly enough, though, 4 foundations for Clint Badger.
He's abysmally behind.
Yeah. And we're staring at almost deadlocked board. No, it is a deadlocked board. Yeah.
But does Clint even run any deadlock attacks?
No, it's just something to note.
Another High Seas Adventure. Problem with High Seas Adventure in this situation is
you still take the damage if you don't have the block.
You still take the damage if you don't have a block. And if you don't use it on your first attack, Garett's going to put that into his hand with Ever-hopeful.
Exactly.
It's a 3 difficulty. It's got no block. Same thing with the card he just played. No block there again.
Oh, and he's checking for attacks. He did see 1, probably 2, if I'm not mistaken. Because Garett did check 1 early. It was a Ryujin Kyaku, if I'm not mistaken, and Slash Claw. Yep. So he did check some attacks very early on. A Delta Kick, a Ryujin Kyaku, a Slash Claw, and a Navos.
Like I said before, though, Garett can win this match at his leisure.
It's
He's
true.
got all day
It's true.
to get what he needs. With
Now,
those 2 Ophidiophobias, he can block 2 attacks on
and
any
it
zone.
is extremely unlikely that the second chance took an attack to the momentum. Extremely unlikely. But we never know. That's the mystery of the situation, I guess you could say. Ironically enough, though,
Badger does have an out of your league in his hand.
Does.
So that does give him some protection to attack.
Yeah.
But I don't think he does that in this situation.
He needs the blocks, I think. He's going to opt to build 2.
Now, Felicia is in prime position. She's got 2 momentum.
She has everything.
All of her moves are 3 speed this turn.
And Ever-hopeful, you only have 2 bullets with High Seas Adventure. You have to use them.
You have to.
Yeah. You can't use them otherwise.
That's the thing, because if he plays a kick, you
Yeah,
can follow that up with the up smash.
Exactly, and you got to get it out of there.
And you can't have your High Seas Adventures eaten up by an Ever-hopeful. So he pretty much has to use them on Garett's first 2 attacks.
Exactly.
And there's another Slash Claw. 3 mid for 5. And he checks a 5.
Do you think he'll multiple?
I don't think he will in this situation because he wants that speed. He doesn't have anything in the staging area that's going to help him get more momentum
It's true.
away.
I would assume he wouldn't want to. I mean, he gets the extra momentum. He gets to play the Ever-hopeful a little more freely.
Yeah.
But the High Seas Venture does have to be used.
If you look at Clint right now at the bottom of the screen, though, he is really thinking about whether or not he wants to High Seas Adventure this attack.
Exactly. And Garett is also considering the possibilities that if he does this, is he going to call his bluff? Does he have more attacks? Does he not?
Well, Slash Claw is not a kick.
Exactly. That's the thing, though.
So he cannot follow this up with a comboed up smash.
Exactly. The thing to note is if Garett gets the High Seas out now and gets the bluff in check, it could spell doom for Clint Badger later.
And Badger is going to High Seas this. He's going to go straight to the block step.
Yeah.
Now, does he have a block, though?
I think he'll take the damage.
I mean, 5's a lot to take in this situation.
It is, yeah. I mean, the only block I could imagine that he would have in his hand at the moment, because I can only see out of your league, would maybe be a Gravity Hole block, which would check 5-4, and he has a Breaker.
Yeah, but Breaker isn't going to.
It's not going to matter. No, it's not going to matter.
Garett has so many foundations.
But anything in this situation, that's the only thing I can think of right now. I mean,
he could have in his hand that would be absolutely devastating for Garett's attack on this turn. That's a stop.
That is true. We didn't see them checked. We didn't see them in his hand early. If he brought it in.
If he's got a stop here, he blocks on a. Oh, wait.
He can block that.
Are we not?
What?
What is going on here?
He's not.
If he does, here's a scenario.
I think this is a play mistake.
If he doesn't high seas adventure here, he's going to lose one of them to Ever Hopeful, and he's going to get that momentum.
Exactly.
Then Garett's just going to play the Ever Hopeful again, use the third momentum he got, bring it back down. He's just going to pick apart Badger's staging area. And sure enough. And so his next to hands, I'm almost certain is going to be Ever Hopeful. Targeting a high seas adventure. Nope, he's going to Felicia first.
Ever Hopeful.
And there's the Ever Hopeful,
there it is.
as predicted. The Badger's not in a good spot.
Nope.
And he's going to seal the other high seas adventure. All right, this is done. It's in the bag. I'm calling it.
I mean, yeah.
I'm calling it.
Yeah, it was a play mistake.
Unless Garett has no other attacks in his hand.
The only thing I could possibly say about this scenario, is that Clint Badger chooses to not block, and he's holding another block for Nevos or the up smash, and maybe another kick. The only thing that can happen here is if Garett chooses to play the Ever Hopeful and responds, and he out of your leagues it.
That's true. I was just thinking that myself.
That is the only thing I can see here that maybe would be a misstep in Garrett's plans.
But because this is a punch, he's not getting ready to
exactly.
Combo. If this was a kick,
he's building resources. Now, that is a lot of slash claws. I think he's played all of his slash claws.
Yeah. There's one in his bin, and he's played 2 or 3 at this point.
And this is 6 mid at the moment. 6 speed mid. You don't want to give him the check boost here.
No.
You really don't.
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter because at that point you're committed out.
You're committed out, and he can have your way with you.
No, but if he taps double hard and has stop in his hand, that could change the pace of the game. Maybe a little bit.
I don't think so.
But
because then he's pretty much committed out.
Yeah, and his high seas is sealed.
And then the next attack he plays, he's going to get in, and he's going to have +3 for the rest of the time.
And I don't think he has enough Earth cards to damage reduction with the Heart of the Mountains either.
Let's see what we got here. We have some updates here. Let's see. The Black
Bear Diner.
Bear Diner defeated anyone but Hillman.
Wow.
So
you're joking. So
this is
the upset teams in the finals. So we have
all brandy dandy new people.
We have For the Stuff and Black Bear Diner. William Bryan, which we saw yesterday. JC
and Bryce. So Turbo Man, Ringman, and Satoshi
versus For the Stuff with Metal Man, Sasquatch, Turbo Man. Now, I want to throw this out there. I didn't expect this at all. Neither of these teams are running a Zoey. Neither of these teams are running a Yamato Man.
Now, according to our production notes here, we're going to finish singles up to top 2. Then we're going to have the team finals on stream, then the singles grand finals.
Right. Now,
back to our match here. Looks like we're still resolving that slash claw.
Yeah. And the crazy thing to note is that they have been on this enhanced step for so long, thinking.
I mean, Badger's got to know
he's
that his
kicking himself. He may have made that
his situation
mistake.
is not good.
Yeah.
He looks visibly upset with himself.
He knows
he kicked that away by not using the high
2 times now. The last game with the Flying Yamato Spear, and this game with the High Seas Adventure. And we saw his hand. He had an Agile and a Flying Spear and an Out of Your League.
He's got just 2 foundations left plus his character.
Yeah, he blocks. He gets the block out, but...
And there's the Ever Hopeful as predicted.
But will he Out of Your League?
Now, Garett does have to commit a foundation here. That could be a game changer.
He gives it to him? Does he give it to him?
Is he gonna respond? I feel like he has to Out of Your League this.
He has to. If he doesn't, he loses the game. You pay the life. You've already blocked. You go to 15.
I mean, we're talking about unwinnable scenario versus unwinnable scenario here,
the only pump or any sort of extra damage would be Dragon of Kyokugen.
Right. But the thing is, even if it gets back to Clint's turn, Garett still has a pair of high seas adventures in his stage.
Exactly. Even if it gets there, Garrett's in phenomenal state. And on top of that, if an attack were to go back to his hand,
he's going to let him have it.
He's going to let him have it. I do not agree with this at all.
I mean, he's
there it is. It might as well be over now.
I mean, Garett still has to count to 18.
I think he can do it. Oh, well, not to 18 in particular. Now, the thing is, the Everett Hopeful is the heart of the mountain. That's 1 enhance. Clint passes. Oh, actually, he has Zoey's free enhance.
To stop the speed enhance.
Exactly. So,
but Garett's going to get 3 speed from Felicia.
He is. No. The attack didn't hit.
He's no.
Oh yeah, you're right.
He still gets a 3 speed.
He still gets a 3 speed no matter what. So
this is a done deal here. If Garett has an up smash in his hand, this is it.
Yeah, the up smash would seal the deal. The thing is, what other blocks did he have in his hand? He had a flying mouse spear and an agile. 2
off zones.
2 off zone 3s.
So he's going to get the check bonus from Davos.
Now he gets the check bonus here, and actually, it's unblockable. He has a traveling performer.
This is over. It's unwinnable.
Yeah, he knows.
This is a formality at this point.
He should have Heisties adventured twice, and that would have been it.
And there goes his heart of the mountain.
Yep. Now that's a +3 mid block. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Yeah. Man, this is a rough scenario to be in. He uses the Zoey enhance. Oh, maybe he's gonna do it for the DR. Try to get some of the damage reduction out of the way. But at the same time, Garett, the damage reduction is a formality, because if Garett knows it's going to be unblockable, he can Ophidia, Dragon of Kyokugen, use every enhance he has.
There's the Dragon of Kyokugen.
Yep.
He's going to Ever Hopeful. Not Ever Hopeful. He's going to use both of his Ophidia phobias.
So let's see here. We have at least 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 enhances that we can get through, and Clint can react to one of them with Zoey. It is a rough scenario.
I mean, I don't want to sound like a pessimist, but it's in my experience, this is
a done deal.
It's done.
Yeah, I mean,
Felicia's a critical miss.
Yeah.
And
he goes to 4,
there's
and
the up
there it
smash.
is. Yeah, that's the game.
What's he responding with? Oh, he's just being a troll. Alrighty, so that finishes that up. I think we're gonna try to get some interviews with
Garett
and Clint after this match. Let's start with we're gonna have Clint Badger come on back if he is interested and willing after this, and let's talk a little bit about how that match went. I think. Unfortunately, I feel like Clint did punt that away.
He really did. Game 2 and 3, really, if you think about it.
Game 3, I think Garett was just at an advantage the whole time.
The thing is,
Game 2, he had a winning line, and
it's true. Well, the biggest mistake was just not high season entering. He should have just done it.
Absolutely.
And you know, we'll talk about that.
Absolutely.
What was going through his mindset there? Because if I'm not mistaken, there's really nothing that Garett had to stop that. And he doesn't look too upset about that. He's still smiling.
That's a pretty good thing. I mean, remember, he's going to get the deck box, the play mat. He's going to get a box of Street Fighter, which is
exactly.
Even out
he's going to get everything there. And, you know, it was rough. Definitely rough. But other than that, I mean, we had a great match either way.
Absolutely. Alrighty, let's take a short break here while we get the players back here, and we'll come back with an interview with Clint Badger.
Exactly.
All right, we'll see you guys here in a minute.